back on the ride. Third hour, Non-Free Lounge Live, DSN, nonfreelounge.com. And it's the artist showcase part of the show. Sponsored by me. Oh, okay. Let me put the headphones on because DWI. Yes, but obviously we're here for our third hour of the show. We thank our guests. We thank obviously Ms. Ivana K from Realistic Links Magazine. But we're here with two brothers that a few weeks ago they were in the studio. Big shout to Sharice, who kind of brought us to the table. And there's two guys who got to me musical royalty in the game. And they started a movie that kind of touches on some real serious issues, has a twist to it. It's coming out real soon, but I wanted to have you kind of talk about the nuts of both of the flick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my man Keyboard Mike Williams and the homie Igod from the movie Moon Justice. Welcome, fellas, to the show, man.
Yo, what's up? Yo, Kev, Keyboard Money Mike. I know that's what it says on my Facebook page. Okay. I know it said that.
Yeah,
what did I say?
You said the last name, and I said
you gave him his government name.
They know it as. They know it as Keyboard Money Mike.
Money Mike.
All right, Rodeo's in the back there. But,
it's kind of nice looking up on the bottom of y'all.
Yeah, new seat for you.
Look down on y'all.
But welcome to the show, fellas. And first and foremost, Keyboard. I'll keep it that way. Thank you for the link yesterday, man. We really enjoyed the film. I really, obviously, the plot was I think classic. We'll get into that a little later, but the symmetry, the presentation of the film, and one the young actress in it just blew me away. But tremendous work on just putting together the symmetry in the video. It for the eye purpose, I couldn't take my eyes off it. Obviously, the storyline was great, but the eye purpose was great because it just looked good. So I commend you for that.
Camera work.
No doubt.
Good-looking women, too,
Camera work is good.
That helps.
Let's talk about it. You guys obviously a music royalty. I mean, like I said, I remember you riding around back in the day with Tim Dog and Rhythm Factory. I was there. You didn't know I was there. I remember you don't remember me. I was there being a fan of that time. But talk about how you guys have changed the game a little bit and going to the movie route in a uniquely different role where it's not something where it's like not knocking the street chronicle movies or web series, but you guys going a different route, a more social justice route. Talk about that a little bit.
I'll say something real fast. My brother Mike, Mike the one that took me in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
Come closer to the mic.
Mike,
talking to him. All
right. Yeah. Mike the one that took me in this direction. Mm-hmm. He had this vision. I just wanted to stay with the music, but he was like, we can't stay stagnated. We got to grow.
Right.
So I said, well, he been doing videos, music videos and stuff like that.
Right.
But then, I said, well, let me see what you're talking about. And he just went and just did something real fast, probably like for 2-3 days. And when he showed it to me, he said, just look at what somebody sent me. He tricked me. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, that looked dope,
Right.
And he said, yo, that's what I just did. I'm like, you didn't do that.
Right.
And then I started believing, well,
this
we
is
got
something we might have something
here.
here. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Mike, your thoughts on that, man? Obviously, going to your brother, being successful in one arena, very successful in one arena already. What gave you the wherewithal to say, let's try this? Give me that feeling.
And that's a good question. Let's try this. Like, the music has always been a part of me, throughout my career. But the visual also been a part of me too. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity came because, we as talented creators, we touch and dip and dab in different areas. But we don't even know our greatness unless we take that leap of faith. And then you realize when you do pursue in another genre in your profession, you realize how great you are. So no matter what you have in your mind that you want to do, you say you want to do it because there's something in you that says, I want to do this, but you don't even know why it's telling you want to do it. So when we went to do the movie aspect of it, the storyline that came from the movie, and why we felt it was a game changer is because it's something that we all can relate to. You know what I mean? So we can relate to the situation, and we doing movies, and people said, yeah, man, I heard you get the independent movie from the hood, and those independent movies is all cliche, da-da-da-da. I'm like, listen, I'm not the typical type of writer or, director. I write with substance, and the substance has something to resonate with all of us. And the most sensitive part about resonating substance is when we touch on matters like rape And that's what this movie was all about.
Right.
Something that's not talked about a lot. Something that goes on every single day.
Right.
And media doesn't cover that because they want to get their money. They got to pay their bills. So they're trying to cover the thing like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Situations that just draw people because it's negative.
Right.
And this is the power of the world, right? Trigonometry is negativity, and that's what gives people to draw. I don't know why, when it comes to positivism, I don't know why negativism seems to just have so much weight.
Well, you know what? They try to lull us to sleep. They numb us to death. Right. So they throw things out like Bill Cosby and Love and Hip Hop. I don't knock it, but my thing is that when growing up in the Bronx, you knew about, okay, we could tell, like when we listen to music where, okay, this is something that for music is not something to reenact. It seems that today the world has kind of shifted that we reenact what we hear and what we see from a standpoint. So now we're numb because we have put reality and reality in which is which is fake and what's live, what's Memorex, you know? And I think that's scary. I think what you guys touched on with this, which I was really impressed with, that you wasn't afraid to dive into it. You wasn't afraid to touch that subject. You could have easily made something about Mount Vernon, you know.
Shooting in the hood,
or,
in the building,
or just went like the music route, the legacy of Mount Vernon music, Heavy D, and, you know, all the athletes, Ray and Gus Williams. You could have went a lot of ways, but you went somewhere that would start controversy and start conversation. And that I applaud you for. So, you know,
I was watching it and getting tight a little bit. Like, they ain't catch this food yet. I don't want to give it away.
Don't give it away.
That's what I said. I don't want to give it away because I do want the viewers to really check out the video. And we had talked, before you came up, about the whole subject of rape and how you'd be surprised how there's a lot of females that have come across situations and been in situations unwittingly and haven't told anybody or haven't been able to tell anybody or scared or don't know where to turn because the topic is not brought up as much. And like you said, we are people that have been drawn to negativity because people like to see action and stuff. How I know this? World Star, hip hop, and the Facebooks, and all we see is young kids fighting and this and that, and we like ooh ah, and then we get mad when the media do it. But we gave the media permission to throw this stuff out at us to block all the things that are so important that we should hone in on. So now we have, and you have the opportunity to say, okay, listen, I'm going to start bringing you things that we should start focusing on. Not just as a race of people, but just as a people overall, to start saying there's some things that we need to talk about other than the stuff that we know that's going on every day outside our streets. So for that, I definitely, big up what you're doing as far as that. I can't wait to see, other projects that you guys have going on.
Definitely, see, what I want to say is it's nothing new under the sun. So if you go back into history, this been going on forever.
Right.
Like negativity, or even the king used to make, if you wanted to live, you had to be his bodyguard, his tough man.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 times, they knew he was going to slaughter you,
Right.
So negativity always been going on, but this is a subject that get like swept under the rug most of the time, and this movie is really for females that really actually been raped. We're not talking about the ones who like make up this story for monetary value or whatever their ulterior motive. But this really for female who really been raped, and they need a venue, a voice to be heard.
When you put the cast together, I know Mike from the credits, one of the people putting the cast, you and I, God, did that play a role when like going after your leads or people who are in the movie to say, hey, have you either experienced this personally or had a personal family trauma? Was that part of it to kind of get that rawness out?
Oh, that's a very good point, because I was just talking earlier, the cast is very important. This is why this movie is, look, there's no star in this movie.
Nope.
But the acting is done very well.
Yes.
How is that possible?
Yes.
There's no star.
Right.
And what the main criteria was to find someone that could resonate with it indirectly or directly. Either you've been raped or know someone who has been raped.
Right.
And I asked these questions to these characters. And then I try to get a idea of their personality, because they have to be convincible. So the reason why this movie is convincible, because it kind of fit their personality. And listen, another thing I want to say.
Yeah.
A great philosopher says those who write books control minds. Well, I wrote this script because I want to control minds. The minds I want to control is legislation. implement law to protect the females more. They're not protected. Once they say, he raped me, okay, you go through the process, and guess what? They didn't find enough evidence, you're free. 2 weeks later, you come after me because you told me not to tell, and you kill me.
Wow.
Where was that protection?
Right.
You told me to come forth and speak. I did that. So where's my protection?
Right.
When he's out, free out there on the land, going to do the same thing situation again. So I want to make a voice for the ladies, and we are taking this on the road. We're going to colleges. We're going to high school.
Fantastic.
With a professional doctor, a lawyer, a rape victim, and a police officer to share the horrific experience to youth that's rising up to this day. Either how to avoid it, and if you did experience it, here's the information you can call to get help. And we're not going to just say, after you call, we're going to bypass you. We're going to stay there with you every minute of the way. We need to implement law to protect rape victims more.
Now, you have a set in my town. I live in Mount Vernon. So I actually saw the snippet because I wasn't able to see the
Sorry, not a set. The whole movie was done in your town.
I know. That's what I was trying to figure out. I saw a snippet. I didn't get to see the whole movie. So when I saw the train station,
She was slow, Mike, on the link.
I wasn't slow.
He never even been on that
I
train.
was preoccupied. Anyway, yes, I have.
He drives.
But back to what I was saying, I saw the Metro North Station, and I said, wow, they filmed it in Mount Vernon because not many things are good that come out of Mount Vernon. So why did you pick that setting to have this movie? What about Mount Vernon said this is where it needs to be done, especially with all the things that do happen in Mount Vernon people don't know? Go Google it. You'll see some pretty negative area.
I'm gonna let my brother answer that, right? But I'm gonna say this to you: the fact that my lawyer name is Bruce Jackson, and Bruce Jackson is in bed with the mayor of Mount Vernon, so he might possibly become the deputy commissioner for the mayor of Mount Vernon.
Okay.
And it was easier for my brother to get license to shoot
Access, yeah.
and access. We didn't want to go somewhere where it's gonna take us forever to get this movie done.
Right.
Cause Mike Ben had the movie, like, it was there. He just gave me the vision. I didn't see it. He had to make it. He's a visionary. We both are, but sometimes Mike had to make it more clearer to me. So I'm like, listen, we could go and just promote tours and get money. And he's like, no, we need to stick with this right now.
Just as the actors is chosen, the location is chosen.
Right.
Mount Vernon was chosen because this city, like you said, brings out a lot of negative things that come from the city. Even though you got great things that come from the city, jazz, greatness, the guys who do architects, you got rappers. Great stuff come from the city.
Right.
I chose this city because I haven't seen, and I see a lot of major movies come from here, major TV shows come from here as well. But I haven't seen an independent movie that touch on this topic. And guess what? 4.2 square miles. It don't matter how. Let me say something the actress said, one of my actresses here, Stephanie Curtis. He said, it's not how big you are. She's going to say it better. It's how hard you bite. It's not the size of the dog. It's the bite of the dog.
Speak on, no doubt.
So Mount Vernon, this right here is I want to put Mount Vernon on a map. I specifically target Mount Vernon because what I see that comes from here, the negativity. Mount Vernon has the most murderers in all the side in the 5 boroughs. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Mount Vernon has the school system. Like their scores is so low. It's like everything is bad about Mount Vernon. That's not true.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
And we got great people here. The thing is, we don't stick together as great people.
Yeah.
But I hope to implement, again, law change. Protect the ladies more.
Rhoda, you got something you want to add, bro?
My thing is that, I saw the movie and he was definitely, that 2-hour window went quick. I was trying to go back and watch something. This brother shut it down. So he definitely a black man to his word. But when you was doing the movie, now the movie's complete, have you got any feedback from people that you may have shown the film, like, to us? Have you got feedback?
Let me say this real quick. To answer your question, Martin Lawrence had a guy on there, and they always tease him. You don't get no job, Tommy.
That's rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Ford wanted to do this movie. He read the script. It was suggested to him, and he loved it. Of course, we didn't work things out because, it's my first time as a first-time filmmaker, but you're not going to treat me like a first-time filmmaker.
Exactly.
I do have, history in this game. So you pimped me once when I was on the producer side, that's on the music, but you ain't gonna pimp me twice on the producer side with the film. Right. So I'm no hope for you guys that's out there trying to get this film. Right. So as far as addressing your question, yes, we had a lot of response. We had different distribution company hit me left and right? We want to sell this film. We want to sell this. We need to market this. Black people don't have anything because when you don't have no money and good product, then they get to put the product out and then they curve their name around it and look like they do it. White people has been doing this to us for so many years. If we have to go out holding on to the authenticity of this movie, I'd rather do that than to sell out.
Right. It's real words, keyboard money, Mike. We got a few minutes left in the segment. We're going to bring in the ladies at the start of the movie in a minute. But I want you to give me before you get out of here, let people know, and you've been talking about the importance of rape and why we need to have this type of film now at this particular time. But let's talk about, before you get out of here, the overall goal of the movie. Obviously, for information, certainly want to make a profit. But where do you see the movie going? Because without giving away the plot, it left a Chad hanging. So you can go different places. But talk about where you want to go.
I think there's a part 2.
Right, with this particular thing.
Chad, I was like, where you going with that? A Chad hanging.
I see a part 2.
It could be a part 2. Everybody say that.
My brother said to me, yo, that was dope. I said, what was dope? Like, I know the movie dope. No. The way you end the movie. They're going to be like, yo, so what's going to happen with the kids? What's going to happen to...
No, don't say that, man. No, man. Don't mess the money up, baby.
We're not going to tell you the story.
That's why I said hanging Chad. I went 2000 election on you. I don't want to say
you a producer, man.
The movie is about rape. Let's go. The whole subject line is about rape and dealing with rape and kind of and the injustice and the right way to find justice. However, there is another plot that's going on within the movie. Right. So it's not a one-dimensional movie where it's just one thing. There's actually another plot that's going on that always touches the home. When you watch, you be like, you know, such and such up to something. So that's why I definitely could see a part 2, because you could go down that plot and then see.
I think they already got it already.
Well, yeah,
I think they're already smiling.
It's already written.
She don't know me very well, do she?
Real quick, fellas, where can people find information about you guys, whether it's production, movie, the music thing that you guys are entrenched in, where people can find information about you guys?
You can find us on Facebook, Moon Justice, right? You can find us at moonjusticethemovie@gmail.com. And look out for us, because we are looking to spread the word around town, around your neighborhood, and everyone who can relate to this. I don't care where you at. I don't care where you from. Make sure you share this movie, because it's to bring awareness. The purpose of the movie is to bring awareness. It has something to do with you. And I'm sure you're listening right now, because it does have something to do with you, because you can relate to it one way or another, either directly or indirectly. Share this movie. Let's bring awareness. Let's bring voice back to women. Women deserve to have voices heard.
Keyboard money, Mike Williams. God, thank you, my brothers.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
Yes.
We're going to keep the Moon Justice conversation going. I got next up Star Taft, Stephanie Curtis from the movie. Come on back. 9 Free Lounge live on a 3-hour Saturday. Where you want to be.